are the main things that I'm looking for as a judge? That's a great question. So usually first and foremost, in general, lighting, render quality, animation, composition, color, story, and idea. Those are the main ones that come to my mind. I can explain briefly like how we pull the top 100 pieces of art and how we pull top 5 generally, and then I can talk specifically about this challenge. Okay, so generally what we do when we're looking at all of the art on the timeline and we're going like next, the first thing that usually grabs our attention as judges is lighting. If it's well lit, it's kind of like lighting first, but render quality also goes into that too. So if you have like a nice crispy, well lit render with some nice colors, like if it's pleasing to my eye immediately, that will have us start taking like second and third and fourth looks at your art. We'll pause the playhead, we'll loop your art, and we'll look at it. If it looks pleasing to our eye. Not that we're not looking at the other ones, I'm just saying we'll take a closer look at it, right? And then pretty quick, we'll be able to gauge if it was just, you know, oh, this little thing here looked nice and that's what caught our eye, but other than that, there's not really much going on, moving on. Or, oh, there's actually something here. It's animated well, it doesn't look janky. If you're animating a character, does it look like a person should be animated, or is it stylized? Or if you're animating like mechanical stuff, like, I don't know, does it feel right? Does it feel punchy? Does it feel snappy? Is it animated well? We're also looking at story and idea, right? So if you make something that not a lot of people came up with, or, you know, we've seen a million Spider-Man renders. So if you're doing a Spider-Man render, it better be the best Spider-Man render because you're up against all the other Spider-Man renders. But if you're doing something completely unique, then we're gonna be like, oh wow, I've never seen this before. This feels fresh and this feels new. This feels great. This feels fun. So story and idea, we're gonna be looking at that. Composition, right? Is it pleasing to the eye? That's like stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 is it pleasing to the eye? So that's lighting, composition, color, render quality. Once you get past that checkpoint, we're looking at story and idea, and animation. Those are the 3 that like are the next levels. I've seen a lot of your guys's whips so far, and originally I was thinking we're going to see a lot more abstract art. And not to say that there isn't going to be a bunch of that, because, you know, you don't see everything until you see everything. But a lot of you guys are doing scenes and stories and stuff, so that counts, right? So what's your story? Can you tell a story in these 4 seconds? There's also the approach of like doing a visualizer. It's abstract, it's cool shapes, moving things. If it's just like, whoa, this looks so sick, like that's got points too, you know what I mean? So that's really kind of the thought process for judging in general, and specifically judging this one, where the abstract is more like how cool can we get with the abstract, you know? I'm excited to see the abstract ones. Some more questions. Can we add camera shake? Absolutely, yes you can. Can we rotate and move the camera at the same time? Yes you can. Can you have the camera move constantly but it moves suddenly on the beat, accelerates? Yes you can. So you're talking like the camera's still doing like push, 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 push on the beat, but it's like moving like this, where it's going like, that's totally fine. And animate the focal length. Yep, that's totally fine. Am I allowed to have the camera switch to another one instead of moving? That is an artist decision. Personal music, but at 120 BPM. Now, we're not using, when it comes to judging or when it comes to the montage, we're not using any music that is attached to your render. You can put music on it, and you should probably be working to music and animating to music that is at 120 BPM with that constant bass, right? We have those 2 reference tracks from Brooks Alexander, the artist, the musician doing the top 100 montage music. Those will help you and guide your art along the way. But yeah, I mean, if you want to swap that out for another 120 BPM thing, like go for it. Just make sure you're hitting those frames, those on beat frames. How clearly should you visualize the missing beat? If you're watching your submission without any audio, then you see a visual pulse in your scene. Like, can you feel the rhythm of the music without the music just by looking at it? I think that might be a good way to, subjective, right? To each artist. So that's on you guys to figure out the fun way to do that. That's part of the challenge. Do you have to stick to the provided curves, the snappy, the slow, linear curves, or all that stuff? I mean, you don't have to. I personally think they look really good and they feel punchy and they visualize the beat really well. So if you're going to do something different, just make sure it serves the beat and it serves and it feels, I would say punchy, snappy. Just make sure we feel that beat. Yeah. That's it.